got something to say. I do. I'm opinionated, that's for sure. If you don't know who I am, I do have opinions. Sometimes I voice them, like whenever. I'm gonna turn this on. Put some light in here like this. Yeah, this is great. So, I've always noticed this in my life, that like after something bad happens, something good happens. It's always the case. And that's why I always tell people, like, like life is a series, it seems like a series of tragedies. It is. It's a series of tragedies, and life's mostly down. Life is mostly down for all of us. And that's just how it is. And, what keeps us going is that there are highs involved. That you're not always going to be down, that if you hang on, something good will happen. It's a fact. Now, I'll give you an example. Like recently, I was flipped when my channel got hijacked. Now, I don't consider me getting my channel back something good. That was just had to happen because I didn't do anything wrong. I got my channel back. But this might not make sense to you, but because of my channel being hijacked, I had to get another phone. Because I could go into, I had this 8 and I had a line, but it was an old line. I had to change it anyway. So anyway, I had to get a phone, and my only option was the 13 Max Pro Max, whatever it is. And so I didn't want to spend the money because I'm broke right now. I'm waiting on. Here I can fix that. Hang on, Freddie. Hang on. There. So hang on. I turned on the Bluetooth crap or whatever that is. Hang on. Let me do this phone too. So I'm inside now. So hang on. It's already on. It's already on. So anyway. So what I'm saying is, the channel got hijacked. I was fucking ill. I don't have Social Security. I'm not going to have much. I haven't paid much into it, and I don't know if it's going to be around anyway. So me losing my YouTube channel flipped me out. So anyway, I digress. I had to get a phone. I had to get this 13. Now I started doing, right before this, I started working on green screen stuff. And it's very appropriate, but with the 12, I was getting a product that just was not what I wanted. But I knew at some point I could get an uptick and it would start looking better. The 13 did it. Because the cinema thing that you can do, you can change the f-stop, and I put the f-stop down to 2. I just tested it, and there's no bleed through, there's no nothing. So my green screen, now it's going to look great. So, really bad, losing the YouTube channel for 3 days. Me getting it back wasn't necessarily a good thing. It was just had to happen. I didn't do anything wrong. But what was good was me having to buy the 13. So, I'm just saying there's been like times in my life when I've been like, no money. This has been more than once. There was a time when I only had one pair of shoes. I was living in Brooklyn trying to keep the studio afloat. I had lost a lot of money in 2008 or 2009. I had money in the stock market. I invested some money and my portfolio went up like 2,500% or something. So I had money, but it was on paper. But because it was on, I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay. So they gave me a lot of credit cards. I lost a lot of money, and a lot of people did in 2008, 2009. And I was broke, and I had one pair of shoes. So there was a period of years where it was, until like 3 years ago, it started getting better for me or something. Um, but things would be bad. But I always sort of held on, even when it was just miserable. I remember taking the dogs outside in my, I had the one pair of shoes and they would get wet. They were Walmart shoes, and I'd have to take the dogs back out again with the wet shoes. And it was just miserable, just miserable. But there was always something that came along that just sort of like keeps you going. It might be a kind word from somebody, it might. I remember one time when I was in Kansas City, I was going to art school and I was really depressed. I was real depressed. And I went down to the plaza and I was thinking about snuffing myself. I was probably 22 or something. And I was looking over this bridge and down on the plaza, and I was thinking about jumping. And this car pulls up, and there's this man and this woman in it, and they're like, "Hey, get in." I'm like, "No, no, no, I'm okay." They said, "No, get in. Come on, let's go. We're gonna go out. You want to go out with us?" I'm like, "No," and they insisted that I get in the car. They said, "No, it's really cool. Come on, you got to get in here." So that they got me in the car, and they wanted me to hang out. They wanted me to hang out, and I was just like, look, I'm okay. Why don't you drop me back off up by school? And are you sure? Why don't you just hang out with us? They were really nice. They knew something was up. And I remember after that they dropped me off, and I had like $2 in my pocket. That was back in my drinking days, which didn't help my depression at all. Didn't. Made it worse. And I went into this place, Berbelia's, which sold liquor, and I was buying like a six-pack of Black Label. And I looked down on the ground as I'm going up to the register. There was a $100 bill laying on the ground. There's nobody around. So I picked it up. I kept it. Or am I going to give it to the person at the register? Somebody dropped it. So 2 things good happened. I was broke. Then I had money. I had money to eat. And those people on the plaza, I still don't know who they were or what their name was. It was like somebody was looking out for me. I'm not saying that I didn't have a lot of hard times after that. I have. My life hasn't been easy. Nobody's life is easy here. It isn't. I don't know why we're here. I have no idea why we're here. Why do we have to know about our own mortality? Like animals have it easy. They don't have to know that they're gonna die. They have an instinct for survival, but they don't have to sit there and ponder existence. But I mean, my life, it hadn't been easy. A lot of it was real bad when I drank. When I was drinking, man, I was a wreck. My life was just it wasn't very good. I was an asshole for sure. I wasn't, you know how some people that drink, some people get violent. That wasn't me. I know somebody like that. I was more or less like, thought I was funny and I was obnoxious. Yeah, I smoked cigarettes too. I quit that when I quit drinking. But I was like obnoxious. I know I was obnoxious. but I wasn't getting beaten up or anything. It wasn't anything like that. But it made my life more horrible, because I was broke and I was waking up with a hangover. That's another time in my life where I came to the conclusion, like, something has to change or I'm gonna die. You know, clearly, I felt physically like I was gonna die if I kept drinking. So I quit drinking that time for good. I remember, and I quit smoking cigs too at the same time. That was a long time ago. And things got better. Things definitely got better. The first thing that you notice if you quit drinking is like I had money, because I started this business as a pet care business. I got sober working at like I worked at this animal shelter. It was the last job I had as a drunk. And I'd lost my bartending job. I didn't lose it, but they said, you're going to get these shifts and these shifts only, and we're not going to give you any shifts. They knew that I was, drinking. They weren't going to fire me. They were fucking awesome. So I quit. Because that's what alcoholics do if you confront them. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm out of here. Like that. I knew I was an alcoholic for sure. But so then I worked at the animal shelter for a year, which was $5 an hour cash. And, I liked it. I liked it because I liked working with the dogs. It was a no-kill shelter and everything, but it had some real bad aspects to it. No pay. And when I asked them for more money, they gave me a job title. Kennel manager. Good guys, though. They didn't have any money to, pay anybody anymore. So then, right after that, I quit drinking, and then I was just like, I remember I was living on Metropolitan Avenue, and I was like, thinking that I had to leave. Like I was looking into play. I was thinking about going to Alaska. How can I get to Jamaica or the Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico? Because I figured it was warm. So, and then something dawned on me. I remember this, about the same time, this woman that showed my work in Kansas City, Julia McLean, who is a healer, like a psychic healer. She contacted me and asked me if I would sell this painting that she liked. I needed the money. And I was like, yeah, She said, okay, I'll give you the money and I'll give you money to ship it. And she's saying, how are you? I don't know if she, I said, I'm lousy. And I said to her, things can't get worse. And she said, oh yeah, they can. They can definitely get worse. And then, so anyway, I decided like in a period of 3 days or something, like I can't do this anymore. I can't drink. And I'm not going to go to Alaska, and I'm not going to go to Jamaica. And I didn't have any money to get there anyway. So I held my ground and just quit drinking. And it's like a light bulb went off and I quit. Where before I'd said I quit, but I never really quit. Like I drink O'Doul's. You cannot quit drinking and drink non-alcoholic beer. It doesn't work, okay? And if you're having any type of substance abuse problems, I'm telling you, ask anybody that's really quit. You can't switch one problem for the other, okay? Like you can't say, I'm going to quit drinking, but I'm going to smoke weed. It'll never work. When you quit drinking or you quit that thing, you know what you have to do? You have to drink water and stay away from caffeine. That's it. I'm not saying in the future maybe you can smoke weed, Depends what your relationship was with the weed. But you can't do that because I'm telling you, it just does not work. It doesn't work for anybody. And we all try it. We all try and do that. Like I don't want to give up booze, or I don't want to give up the buzz, so I'm going to just start smoking weed. That never works. It never works. you had to be stone sober. But I held my ground. I quit drinking. Somebody took me to an AA meeting, which was like, I was I went in there. It was like somebody that I worked. I got somebody else a job. This woman musician that I knew working at the animal shelter. She was an addict, right? And I felt sorry, not sorry for her, but I felt like I've always been like, I'll help if I can, even when I was a drunk. So I said, I'm quitting this job. And she said, I'll take it, because she was pretty much down and out. And I think she was doing things that she didn't want to do. So she took the job for $5 an hour. And later she got a record deal. But she took me to an AA meeting, and I remember after the AA meeting, and I've been to like one before or something. We went out to eat, and there was like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of us. And they said, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I think that AA is not for me, and I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to drink. And everybody at that table was like, no, you can't do that. You're going to drink again. Don't do this. Go to AA. And I'm like, no, I got too much stuff to do. I have art to make. I have my dogs. I got to make some money. I don't have time for AA. They're like, well, you have to make time or else you're going to drink. Well, everybody at that table started using again or drinking again except me. Because I had it in my head. You got to get something right in your head. You got to get it in your head. You got to get it in the right place. Like, I'm not going to do it anymore. And that's how I was, and that's how I am. I couldn't picture drinking again, please. That was horrible. Waking up with a hangover daily. God, it's terrible. It's amazing that stuff's even legal. Seriously, that stuff is disgusting. Booze. People, it lowers your IQ. It does. And for somebody that's sober around somebody that's drunk, it's really difficult. It is. You know this. Like if you're not drinking anymore and you're around somebody that's drunk, it's just like, oh my God, what happened to them? Like 1 or 2 drinks, and all of a sudden they're sound idiotic. And as the drunk, how you were. You were just like that. I thought I was funny. I clearly wasn't funny. I was trying stand up back. Well, I tried stand up a couple different times, and I'm sure I thought I was funny. Some people thought that I was funny, but I was just obnoxious. So is that really funny? It's not. It's just sort of like you're just being rude. It's sort of like internet troll stuff. Like I'd pick on people. How about you, Grandma? Grandma in the first row. You like oral sex? Look at the guy next to her. Look at how he's acting. She clearly doesn't, do you? When was the last time you did it, Grandma? Shit like that. It's all just sort of just real irreverent type humor, not really thought out. I'd just sort of like I do right now, just stream of thought. I'd just wing it, but I'd be drunk. So I'm sure. I mean, I remember one time somebody wanted to follow me out to the car. The bouncer had to follow me so that I didn't get, jumped. I was making jokes. It's always jokes about like the boyfriend or the girlfriend. I pick on them. I just pick on them. Like, not like how they look. Well, yeah, grandma or grandpa, I'd always do that. Like they were, it was pretty easy. But anyway, that booze is just like it's the worst. It's the worst. It's so many times in my life when things have been really rotten. Right after that, something good happens. And I could even say that now, as far as like dog training goes, I can do it with my eyes closed. I'm at this level where it doesn't, it's easy. It's easy. I can train any dog. But I remember like years ago, I might have like a bad session in the morning, like not so great. And then I always knew that if I had like a not so great session in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, most likely in the afternoon, the sessions would be better. So even on a small scale, I've seen that happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because when things are down, like things are miserable. So when things are just even like tolerable, they seem like everything's great. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's just like your perception. Uh, Destiny, she's downstairs working on she's making a bikini. She's great. Yeah, Destiny's making this bikini. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. She's very talented. She's sort of like me in that she can work with any material. Like like no material is going to be like she's not going to work with it. She might not have experience doing it, but she'll just like start doing it and figure it out. Um, she's talented. Destiny does not drink. She's not an alcoholic, but she doesn't like booze. She doesn't drink. Booze sucks. It does. I can't tell you how. God, I don't miss it. I don't. But it's always worthwhile to hang on. I will say that, like because that is what life is. It's just a series of most of life. You're down. Some of the times I've been the most down is when I've seen like people's like true colors, like how they really are, for good or bad. I don't, it's always worthwhile to hang on. There's not what else is there? What else is there? This is what we get. This is it. The alternative is like what? I mean, I get it. I get it that like sometimes people are like in a lot of pain. So I get it. And then, it's like coupled with like mental illness and shit. People, do stuff that they shouldn't. They should just hang on. Life can be miserable, though. It really can. But you could always look at people and see that there's people that have a harder time than you. And I've always noticed that. Like homeless people on the street in Brooklyn, like don't turn your back on them. You can at least, if you don't want to give them any money, at least you can say hello, talk to them like they're a human. You see somebody without shoes, just give them your shoes. Go buy them a pair of shoes. It's not that big of a deal. What's this Matthew talking about? Yeah, I thank you, Reggie. That's what I figured. That was just some idiot. What the fuck, man? What is the matter with people? It's amazing how broken people are. Like I talk about that, like the people that were like that hijacked my channel. They were broken. They're broken. They're into like just scamming money from victims, and they don't care. They're into using other people's YouTube channels to scam money. It's broken. It's like the internet troll. They're just broken. They got to say something hurtful, you know? Like, what's the point? You know, there's probably somebody that's watching right now that like does it. Why do you do it? You just go around saying something, trying to hurt somebody, and then you're giggling like you did something great. Like what did you do? What did you accomplish? Is it sadism? Is that why you're into that? Like, why do you do that? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I I get like pranking. I get that. Like when I was a kid, like, you call the corner store, do you have Mr. Pibb in a bottle? You better let him out or it's gonna suffocate. It's childish. You just take it up somebody's time. But the whole thing with the internet is like there's people that like they get off on saying hurtful things to people. What's that? Why would you bother? Yeah, somebody said misery loves company. They're miserable, so they want to make somebody else feel misery. I don't get it. I just, and it's just everywhere. It's just, it's not just children. Children have a tendency to be cruel. They do. Children can be very cruel, but there's adults that are like this too. I told this story. There was this dog trainer in Brooklyn I knew that was like this internet troll, is a tool. He ended up committing suicide. He had tried killing himself several other times, from what I understand, and then this time he like hung himself and stabbed himself and took pills or something. And they found his body like 3 days later because the odor. He didn't care about the dogs he left in the crates until he was found. Clearly, he didn't care. It's just like, and I understand if you're in pain and everything, but I got obviously a miserable person and would just say miserable things to people on the internet and just giggle about it. Like, there's a dude that had a very high IQ too, which it was sort of strange. Like, the guy was really smart. That's the one thing that I remember about that dude is he tried to surgically remove tumors from his dog. Is that right? He tried to do that? That's just cruel. No shit. Robert knows who I'm talking about. That dude had a really high IQ. You know that, Robert. I mean, it was probably like 150 or something. It was, I don't know. With a steak knife? Well, he's not that smart after all. Are you sure he tried that? You're sure of that? Why? You mean like fatty tumors or external? Tell me more. He was a fucked up dude. Hung himself with a choked... Is that right? He used a choke chain. Boy, he was a miserable dude. I remember when he died, there were people that were like, I couldn't say anything good about him. I didn't say good, he's gone. But I mean, like, internal? Did he do this right before he hung himself? That's insane. He was a smart guy, like a high IQ, but clearly, like, why would you try and do that, man? He must have been, he went insane or something. Was this right before he killed himself? Tell me more. I didn't even want to talk about it when it happened. I've talked about that dude because he was such a miserable troll. Like, a real F-tard. He was on my channel. He trolled me. I had to call that mutual friend that we knew and tell her, then it stopped instantly. Psychotic? Yeah, he's very smart. Had a right before. Okay, so he really lost it. Was he gonna glue it shut with crazy glue or what? Like, did he tell somebody about this, or was that when they found his dead body, they noticed that he tried working on the dog? How would you do that? You would have the dog has to be sedated. I worked at a vet's office. You would never work on a dog that was like, you got to knock him down, man. God, that story gets crazier and crazier. Seriously, they found the dog. They found the dog cut up. Was the dog alive or was the dog dead? I know the one dog was still alive because I know who took it, which was bloody knife on a table. Was the dog dead? I don't know. I'm just lucky, I guess, huh? The dog lived. Wow. Was that the dog that the mutual friend has? Is that Dewey? Is that Dewey? I can't imagine doing that. I was a vet tech and I can't imagine doing that. I've watched it. I can't imagine doing it. Seriously, I cannot imagine working on a dog like that. I mean, he was also found on Grindr. Oh, I know that. I know that. I think it was about a month before. I know that he was on Grindr. Yes, Dewey. He was, I think, working as a prostitute, right? It doesn't surprise me. You know, it does. I didn't see. I didn't even. I thought he was straight for a long time. I don't care if somebody's straight or gay. I don't give a shit. But then, like, when I heard that he was on Grindr, I was like, really? He was juggling two women also on Grindr. Oh, he had somebody else other than that person that we know? Wow. So the two women, he was just trying to get as much as he could out of them, right? That was clear with the one person that we knew that what was going on. I didn't know that. There was another woman, huh? He's like a gigolo. Like, what's that movie with Richard Gere? Destiny just watched that movie. It's horrible. Don't watch it. Looking for Mr. Goodbar. That's who this guy reminds me of. He was like that, But like, man, he was freakishly smart. He must have gone insane. The one we know was the sugar mama. Yes, that's what I figured. I got that a lot. I was picking that up. And then what was the other one? Was it sexual? Like he's gay. Like was it sexual? What was the other one that he was juggling? Do you know? Oh, he's really a dark dude. What went wrong with that guy? I don't really know, but it wasn't his IQ. The other woman lived with him for most. Oh, gotcha. I know who you're talking about. Know exactly who you're talking about. I didn't know that there was like long-term on again, off again drama. Huh. Yeah. Uh, After we found out that he was on Grindr and everything, I sort of put some stuff together. Like, it sort of made sense. Like the people he's sort of associated with, you know. Um, I know he was I know he was addicted to prescription medication like Adderall or some shit. That he would go to his hometown because he had like two doctors up there, so he could get more Adderall or some shit. Um, who are we talking about? No, I see you, Facebook. No, but just some dog trainer that me and Robert knew. Um, wasn't he mentioned? Yes, yes. Who is a weird dude in himself. Um, there was something like that, maybe like, but I'll tell you something. That dude that we're talking about, his dog training skills were not very good. You know that, right? I mean, I saw it in action. He was not very talented with dogs. Um, he was telling me once he got frustrated with a dog and he held it down and bit it. I was like, really? Like, better watch out. You might get bit. Um, he had like, so he was sort of like mentored by that guy and someone else, right? I don't know if the guy with the two dogs that I don't know, but mentored by someone else for sure. But he he sort of was like a dog whisper guy. There was a lot of dog whisper shit about him. Like, I remember I recommended him for a job or something, then I regretted it. I was like, oh great, that's not good. You know? Wow, I didn't hear that. A choke chain. No kidding. And he tried to operate on the dog? He did these like ballets. Yes, yes, he did. I remember that. I remember that. And I asked him, I said, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Like, you know, I remember that. I forgot about that. Like, he didn't have a really good reason to do it. I mean, that one dude with the two dogs will sort of like get low like that too. But he's actually sort of talented with a lady. She's just a psychopath. Um, he's got real issues for sure. Um, but that dude, I forgot about that, Robert. Yeah, you're right. He would like do this like swooping, like what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, sort of like look at me. Like he couldn't just train the dog. It was all about how I look. Looks good to a layman, maybe. Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's what it was about. It was about like look at me, and he was really. I thought because of that person that he knew, that he was friends with, that I'm friends with, I thought that he might have talent or something because that person has some skills. But this guy was just sort of like lost. Like he wanted to be a dog trainer. He was an enigma, man. It's like, you meet people like that like he went to Exeter and all. The guy had I don't have any idea what the guy's IQ was, but he was clearly very bright, and came from like this blue collar background. Took the test for Exeter and got in, and you meet times in your life you'll meet somebody that has like this outrageously high IQ, but like can't function. Like it's like they're like so smart that like they can't function normally. Like his emotional IQ was just so low. Yeah, it was like Goodwill Hunting. Yeah, like that. But his emotional IQ was like so low, you know. Um, God, that dude. I can't believe he tried to operate on his dog. Why was he doing that? Why didn't he just take it to the vet? Is that dog still alive? Is Dewey still around? That's a trait for a psychopath. What is? Uh, to be a psychopath or sociopath, you do not have to have a high IQ. That's a misconception. I think Dewey got adopted. Oh, really? Oh, that's good. I thought what's his name was going to keep the dog. That's nice. I wasn't about to get involved. You know, that woman contacted me, and I was like, I'd wash my hand. He was pretty broke by that point. I washed my hands of her and him, you know, month, maybe 6 months, a year before. I was like, man, I'm not dealing with this. This is crazy shit. She would call me up. It was like high school. Like, what are you talking about? Just blow him off, man. Get rid of him. Why are you, you know? You're being used, you know, like that. Like, why? And like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your high school problems. Although I did have like 3 board and trains. Yeah, I know that. Like, that is the thing that really sucks is he kills himself and then the dogs sit there for 3 days or something until he stinks so bad that somebody got in. People in Brooklyn, I was in that area, were talking about it. Did you hear about that dog trainer? Yeah, I did. I did hear about it. He was a dick. You know, that guy tried to kill himself like, I think 9 times before or something. He was not a happy guy. So, it was a client who found him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when he's not answering his phone, he wants to know where his dog is. Um, you know, he could have called somebody and then done it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's no reason to fucking endanger the dog. Dogs, you know. I don't know. It's just, you know, I've been depressed in my life for sure, but you know, hang on. You know, it was clear that he wanted to get the job done that time. Um, I don't know if it had anything to do with that Grinder picture being out. Um, that who cares? Sorta. That's how I was. I didn't want to see it though. I'll tell you that. I didn't want to see it. But then I was like, well, who cares? I don't give a shit. I can't believe that would have been like the catalyst for him to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I know who put it out. You know, I think it was that woman. That's what I think. You know, so he wanted to give her guilt. I'm sure she felt like used. You know, she had said something once, Robert. She had said something like, you know, she called with this high school stuff, and I said, well, maybe he's screwing around with another woman or something, or oh, he doesn't want to have sex or something, and I said, well, something came up where she had said something affected, you know, saying something like, well, I've seen on his computer or something, like inferring that she had seen porn. So there was like still like the, you know, his interest in sex, but I don't know. I didn't think, it didn't dawn on me at the time. Like, and I said, what do you mean? And then she wouldn't tell me anything other than that. So I don't really know what, I don't know. Clearly she was being used, which sucks in itself. Like, like, you're on Grindr. Why are you pretending to date this woman? Like, why not just, he could have been like leading on a dude. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have had a sugar daddy or something. Like, what's all that about? I don't know. Maybe I have like I think that life isn't that clean of a picture for a lot of people. Like, I'm like, well, why don't you just do that? But like, like everybody, I guess, falls in this like spectrum. So I don't know. Who knows where that dude was? The spectrum of crazy. He was, crazy and sort of evil. Seriously. That's the way when I washed my hands of him, I was like, man, this guy is fucked up. I don't want to have anything to do with him. Like, nothing. Like, I just wrote him off. Like, I forgot what transpired that I was like, and then he trolled my channel, and I knew it was him, and I called that woman, and it instantly stopped. No, I called our friend, I talked to Barb, and she called that woman, and it instantly stopped. Instantly. So, I knew it was him. I don't know. Where was I? He threatened to kill you. Oh, is that it? He threatened to kill me. I vaguely remember that. That was a line that you shouldn't cross. Thank you, Robert. I might still have the video. Oh, that's right. He sent me a video saying that he was going to kill me, right? Is that correct? Just hold on to it. I don't need to see it. I vaguely remember that. That's right. That's funny shit. It wasn't funny at the time. And then I remember after he did that, then he like apologized or something, or tried to like say like I was just whatever, and I was like, fuck. I didn't even respond, I think. I was like, it's like, sorry, dude, but you don't tell somebody you want to kill them and then like expect them to be like, oh, okay. I mean, I was never like, I would see him, he stalked me. I told you this, didn't I? That he was like walking in front of my house all the time. I don't know. It was weird. And my friend, had said to him like, well, if you want to learn from Peter, you're probably going to have to stalk him, because he doesn't really want to help anybody out with like dog training lessons or whatever. I don't know what he had planned, or what he thought, but he was stalking me. And then like, I can't remember what the circumstances were, but it was just like, oh my God. Everyone cut him off after that except the girl and one other dude. Oh, I know who the other dude was. The one that took the dog, right? Because he was sort of more tolerant, right? He was tolerant of the guy. I noticed that, like, for some reason he felt sorry for him, it seemed. Which I never really understand, like, what him being like I don't know, but you never know what the dichotomy is between people. Yeah, he's very tolerant, right? As a, I mean, hell, he took the dog. He helped get the dog a home. No, I have this line, and don't cross it, because if you cross it, I'll have nothing to do with you. I'll just cut you off. Like, I'm not talking to you, Robert. I'm just saying, like, I know that. Like, I'll put up with stuff. I'll be tolerant. And then at a point, like, it just builds up, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I can't deal with this. Um, that was my line with him. I'm like, okay, crazy is one thing, but threatening me, like, to some crazy crap, like, later. God, Robert keeps all the good stuff. How would you still have that video, Robert? Where would you have, like, what, do you have that on an old phone or something? He helped track down the other owners of clients' dogs from the apartment. No shit. Say, I was contacted after he was dead, and there was a problem, and because I was in the area, I was asked if I would help, and I was like, no, I can't get involved with this dude. No, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Somebody else is going to have to do it. The city can come and take the dogs. It's just a fact. Dogs can wait at the city. If they're clients, they'll be picked up. I back on my... Really? No shit? God. It's like Destiny. Destiny, every picture she takes, every video she takes, she backs it up on a cloud. I'm like... I disconnected my cloud recently because my videos download better into my computer. So whatever one I'm using, maybe I'll hook the other one back up to the cloud, but, like, don't have a cloud hooked up because you want to do videos, you want to get the videos off your iPhone. Don't have it going to a cloud. That just makes it harder. It does. It makes it into a big drag. What are my thoughts on weed? Just say no, man. Just say no. It should be legal in every state, and they should tax it. It should be legal everywhere. They should tax it, and I was thinking about running for office in this district. Is my whole thing would be like a Satan's tax. And anything that is bad for you, we could use, like, actuaries to, like, give it like a percentage. How bad is it for you? Like, alcohol's super bad, so that might be like one of the highest taxed bad things. Weed would probably be taxed less. Cigarettes you could still buy, but they're going to be taxed real high. Sugar, taxed real high. So you take everything from the Satan's tax, and it goes into a coffer for everybody having medical care. Everybody has it. And you could scream socialization, socialized medicine, whatever. Everybody, it costs people more. It costs people more by not having everybody have insurance. It doesn't matter if it's an illegal person in this country. If they're here in this country and they're ill, they go into emergency room, it's covered. If somebody's on vacation here, they don't have insurance, it's covered. What's the alternative? To run up bills in hospitals? It's ridiculous. So that was my idea, was a Satan's tax. Anything that's bad for you is taxed real high. And healthcare, education, stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. I want to say this right now. And Robert's conservative. He's real conservative. And I was more conservative. I'm more lean towards I'm like a centrist, I guess, but I'm just not going to vote for that one party anymore, and I'll vote Democrat. Okay, at least right now. And the only Republicans I see that are like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, or whatever his name is, Mitt Romney. I'm disappointed in my own party. I won't have anything to do with them. I forgot what my point was. Um, Something about being conservative, but oh, the point is this: is there a lot of people that are conservative? A lot of Democrats too are really worried about an influx of illegals, and we don't want everybody just flowing over the border, of course. But let's have some compassion here, seriously, and know that they're in a real bad spot. And unless you're native, and how many people have native in them but aren't all native and have been living like the white man or the white man? Unless you're native, why the hell do you have such a problem with taxes, and some portion of your taxes the illegals are going to get? And my point is this: that portion that the illegals cost you is nominal. It's almost nothing. It's nothing. Out of the taxes that you pay, it's nothing. Like, why do you really care about $2, $3? I'm not saying let everybody in. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying everybody needs health care. You shouldn't get wrapped up into this, like, I don't want to pay for anybody else. You should sort of be charitable. You should. So a portion, $5 of your taxes goes, to illegals, whatever it costs. It's nothing for what Border Patrol? We need Border Patrol, but I'll tell you something. That should be changed. That should be changed. It should be all electronic, drones. That wall was ridiculous. That wall, it's absurd. Absurd. What a stupid waste of money. Everybody should have health care. This is insane. This is costing us more money by everybody not being insured. And Obamacare, listen, the whole deal is like, states, or like New York State has real good health insurance. So if you don't make enough money, you're going to get health insurance through New York State. So that's sort of like Obamacare sort of set up like that. Like if you make a certain amount, insurance is going to cost you this amount. And if you don't, the state's going to kick in with Medicaid and you're good to go. But not every state is good like New York State or California. So there's always going to be people that are slipping through the cracks. There's also people that are slipping through the cracks. They have to, file taxes to be able to get Medicaid. What's up, Uniquities? Why do some videos have background layers that loop backwards sometimes? It's a cool effect. Why do some videos have background layers that loop background? I don't really know what you're talking about, but I am making a background right now, and I layered it because it's like a cave, sort of, and then in the cave are caves, and it looked too sort of cut out, so I layered another one on top and moved it slightly, so it's a little offset, but I don't really know what you're talking about. But Uniquities, I was talking about this right when I started this. This is true, that this iPhone, the 13, man, I'm telling you, I just tested it down on the green screen with on cinema mode and taking the f-stop all the way down low, and I just put like a tripod with a camera on it, and everything's blocked out. There's no bleed through. This 13 is awesome. I'm about to really step up to a really clean looking product. So the stuff that we put out in the past, hey, I had to do that to get to here. But man, I'm telling you, man, that this was like the thing recently that, like, because I lost, my channel got hijacked. I had to get another phone, and this 13 with the cinema mode is just, fuck, this is the best camera I've ever had. It's not complicated. It's easy to use, and it also Sue Shelton wants to be in my video. Yeah, but Sue, I don't really understand this yet on Facebook. I will consider this. I will consider this, but I'm like, what happens if somebody says something inappropriate? I have maybe later. I will. I understand it's a good way to ask questions on Facebook. That, like, Facebook, instead of writing the chat, you're gonna ask to be in the video and then ask the question, which I think is awesome, because YouTube should get this. They should. But I don't want to have problems with my YouTube channel, and I'm live streaming, so YouTube might pick something up. I'm not saying you would say anything bad, but same thing with Facebook. I don't want there to be any problems. I have to live stream some more on Facebook to sort of work out the bugs. But man, I'm looking at the color. Like, this 13 is far superior. It is. It's like, wow. Color saturation, it's far superior to. And I'm telling you, Uniquities, the green screen stuff, if I shot green screen tomorrow with the 12, I could have a better product than I did two weeks ago or whatever. I didn't understand the color matching thing on my program. You take the little thing and you can make, and knock it around on the different greens. I didn't understand that. I didn't know what that was for, and then I found that out recently. So I would have a better product, but with this, man, I used the color matching, boom, 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 and it all went away. It's because of this camera on cinema mode, and I don't think the 12, I don't think you can change the f-stop. And it doesn't have the cinema mode, so you need that background sort of real soft. I wasn't getting that with the 12, for sure. So it also, I was using a real harsh light, where now I'm thinking I can use not so harsh light and get a real good product. You know how HD camera is. It just can make you look terrible. Not that I give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Look at what I did to my head. Look at that. When that happened, I thought I was going to need to, like, get the crazy glue out and glue it shut. I felt like somebody smacked me, like I was in a fight. People shoot entire movies with iPhone professional. I know. And this phone, I can do it. This 13, we're going to get really high quality product now. It was a cost I really didn't want to spend, but when we were there, I mean, they didn't have anything cheaper. It was either that or the Mini. They didn't have a flip phone. They don't have anything like that. They had like a Google phone and stuff like that, but it was none of it was cheap. I'm familiar with this, so I got this product, and I'm real happy with it. Real happy with it. It's real nice. Wanted what, Robert? Toxic is taking Pumpkin home. From where? Where's Toxic? My parrot loves your voice. She's chattering along right now. Oh, that's nice. What kind of parrot? I have a Gofins and I had a gray parrot, Piggy. I miss that parrot. Where are you, Toxic? What do you mean you're taking Pumpy home? I gotta feed the dogs. No. My my doctor told me that's a real bad idea. And I would tend to agree. I think it would be a bad idea. There was something that I did recently that was strenuous. And I remember, like, saying to Destiny, like, this, like, oh, I know what it was. Moving the art show back, right? I remember being, like, laid up 2 days later, and I'm like, man, just moving heavy objects. I can't imagine if I was fighting how screwed up I would be. But the hernia is healed. I mean, it was like 400-pound object by myself on a dolly. I was worried I gave myself a hernia again. I was like, oh fuck, this thing weighs a ton. I did it all. I did moved it back. I did it by myself. Going there, I had help. Coming back, it was a bitch. It was a real bitch. But you know, if you use a fulcrum, you can almost move like any weight within reason. You know, somebody my size, if it's, you know, can move a lot of weight if you're careful, if you know what you're doing. No, I'm not going to do that unless the F-tard wanted to fight, and then I wouldn't have to train anyway. You know, I'd do that if you wanted to. If you can line that up, I won't train for that. I won't need to. If he contacts you again, tell him. I'll give him money. He's a tough guy, isn't he? I'll rip that claw off him. I can't believe he contacted you recently. What a douche. What a douche. I wouldn't train for that. I wouldn't. There'd be no reason to. I got the body of an 18-year-old. Body of an 18-year-old that has arthritis. Oh, you did pitch it. He didn't like it, huh? He didn't want to do that? Yeah, weighs me. He's, what, 30 years younger than me or something? 35 years younger than me? 30, you know, something like that. What a wuss. What a wuss. This is a nice knife. He said no, of course. He's a coward, is what he is. He's a coward. He's bigger than me. He's younger than me. And he's a much bigger pussy than me. He said he would fight me. Oh, he said he would fight you? Aren't you like 185, Robert? I think he just wants to touch you, Robert. He used to be obsessed with me. He keeps contacting you. He might like you a lot. He seems like a wimp. Yeah, I think so. I think he has the crush on you, Robert. It was me for a while, me and Milan. Now it's you. That would be the drag, like fighting him, you'd have to touch him. Ugh. Try and get it over with as quick as possible. I remember you showing me something that you could do, Robert. Like, you're not super skinny, but you have great balance. You could stand on one leg with your one leg out, He said if I dropped 175, he would do it. Drop 275? Well, how much do you weigh? Are you over 2? I guess that's where he's at. He's at 175? Well, he outweighs me by 50 pounds and he turned that down? It's tempting. Did you tell him I'm about one? Tell him I'll drop weight. I'll go down to 125. If you're listening, I'll go down to 125. We could bet on it. We could give money to charity. Think about it, F-tard. Well, hang on. You would outweigh me by 50 pounds. That's only 10. Yeah, you're 185? Boy, you don't look like you weigh 185. Seriously. But you do have balance. I remember that thing, man. You can stand on one leg, right, and go down, can't you? Like, you got real good balance. It's 175. I'll be at 125. That's 50 pounds. What a wimp. What a wuss. What do I gotta do? I don't know. That would be a good pay-per-view for dog trainers. I know. There's a lot of people that do not like him. He's a real hateable guy. I mean, how many people did he harass? Oh, it's called a pistol squat? Yeah. I didn't know what it was called. Yeah, he harassed so many people. It was like weird. Like, didn't he say he's essentially now a balanced trainer? Something like that? Sure he is. And that, like, people contact him from all over the world or something. Some shit like that. Nobody contacts him. Doesn't he have a kid? He has a kid now? Unbelievable. You imagine that guy's your dad? Oh my God. My dad is a freak? No, that would be bad. That'd be a bummer if that was your dad. Anyway. All right, I gotta go work with Sam the Raven. I'll live stream later. I will. Robert, that was great information about, oh, what's his name? I didn't know that. Really, a choke chain? God damn. Tried to operate on the dog? He did say that. I believe it. Oh, I know. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll live stream later. I'll see you. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.